Hello everyone, this is the introduction video to the first project that we're going to be working on. So this is called Adobe Illustrator Self-Portrait project. So in this project, students will create a self-portrait digital painting using the Adobe Illustrator. So this is a work example that I created. And if you go down, there's a description of the project. At the same time, you could take a look at the other students' work examples. So this is on the Blackboard, so take a look at it. So the objective of this project is to familiarize students with the different tools and functions and commands in Adobe Illustrator. So mainly students will be focusing on how to create shapes, at the same time how to compose their composition, and think about color theory as well. So first, students will take a high contrast photo like this. So to do that, I suggest that turn off all the lights and then have someone or take a selfie with the camera flash on your smartphones. So with that, you'll be able to create a high contrast photo like this. After you create a high contrast photo, we're going to bring that into the Adobe Illustrator, and then we're going to lock it as a reference photo, and then we're going to start creating this kind of shape, just following each shapes that you see on your face. It doesn't really have to be accurate or precise, but use your creativity and how you can really create a interesting motif or patterns, so that you can compose and make it visually pleasing and aesthetically pleasing. Okay, so this person did this kind of a puzzle piece looking shape all over his face, and I think this was kind of a really interesting motif he got going on. And she did a little bit more realistic approach, whereas she started to get creative on this kind of motif here and there. And then she did this her glasses. I think that was really cool, and her hair pattern was also very interesting to see. And this is he used more of a blocky shapes to create his facial expression, and I think this is one of the cool examples as well. So I'm gonna get right into the demo on how we're gonna try to tackle this. So let's open up the Adobe Illustrator, and then for this project I require students to create a new file, but this time we're gonna go to print instead of web. So let's go to print excuse me, and then we're gonna change to inches, and we're gonna give it a size. So for this one we're gonna use 11 by 14. Then make sure that you have the color mode as a CMYK. So the difference between RGB and CMYK is RGB is for display and digital display such as phone, camera, not camera, phone, computers and tablets and stuff like that, and CMYK is for prints. So even though we're not going to be printing, but we're just going to use this CMYK this time. Then we're going to use the 300 dpi. You know what, let's just use the RGB instead, because I usually assign this project into face-to-face classes, and then I end up printing it, but this time I don't think we're going to be able to print it since the class being online. So let's just go with RGB, because it's only going to be intended for the digital display, and then we're going to change this to 72 ppi, which is for screen. And then preview by default, more setting, we don't have to worry about that. And since we are dealing with this, we're going to go back to web here, and then we're going to change to inch. So I'm going to change to 11 by 17. RGB color screen, that is good. Then we're going to hit create. Alrighty, so now we have the canvas. First thing we're going to do is we're going to try to load the high contrast photo that you took. So give me 1 second to find that introduction. There you go. So I'm gonna drag and drop my photo of myself, then I'm gonna resize it. I'm gonna hold down the shift so that I have the original aspect ratio locked. I'm gonna position where I want it to. And next we're gonna create another layer. I'm gonna call it a reference, and then I'm gonna call this black layer, and I'm gonna call another layer called white layer. So first I want you to create a black and white version of this, and then after you finish this, we're gonna use the select same tool to change the color and explore the different color schemes and what it does and what it alters the overall visual experience of the audience. So let's go ahead, and then we're gonna lock it. But before I lock it, I'm gonna lower the opacity a little bit so that I can see better. So 50%, and now I'm gonna go 70%. Okay, that looks good, and then I'm gonna lock it. So now we're gonna come to the black layer, where I'm gonna be creating shapes that is mostly shadows and darker part of my face. So I'm gonna use one of these guy right here, pen tool, and then start creating shapes. So first thing first, something like this. And obviously this, I want this to be black instead of that. So I'm gonna erase the stroke this time. So now I have my first shape, but I'm not too big fan of this, so I'm gonna use the direct selection tool, then start altering it a little bit here and there. So for this demo, I'm gonna go with the really sharp edged theme here. So I'm gonna get my eyes as well. I'm gonna make it a little interesting, and my eyebrows. Okay, and then my mouth. Here. So I'm just maybe I might be arbitrary just selecting here and there, but I'm also subconsciously using my artistic decision making to where I'm gonna create each shape for. I feel like I'm gonna need to bring up the opacity a little bit stronger here to be able to see. So I'm gonna go there and then opacity to 100%. Okay, then I'm gonna lock it. And here I'm gonna create another one, the black layer. Boom, boom. Then here and there. Since this demo I'm going really fast, I'm supposed to be making more conscious artistic decisions, but you get the idea. So right now I got most of my blacks done. I want to get my Adam's apple as well. So okay, so I got my blacks done. Well, not fully done, but I'm gonna see what it looks like without the reference photo. Oh, so I don't think that's not all bad. I think I might need a little bit more here and here. So I'll come over here and grab my here. And there. And then there as well. So let's hide the reference photo. Okay, I might need to add a little bit here just to indicate my jawline. machine. Okay. Yeah, and then there. Okay. All right. So that's not all bad, right? So, oh, I forgot to make another layer that is called a gray layer, which I want you to use this gray right here, and then right back here, and then I'm gonna lock that as well. But for now, I'm gonna hide it. For now, we're gonna make a whites highlights. So focus on how the light is hitting your face, and think about how you can express the facial features of your photo by creating these arbitrary shapes. So not necessarily don't trace your face with this shape, but think about the interesting and creative way that you can express your facial feature. So second, okay, that's much better. So now we're gonna play with the now we're gonna play with the whites, but for whites I'm gonna use more organic and more of a curved lines. So here I'm gonna do something like this. Oh yeah, and change to white. Okay, here as well. Remember, this is not a figure drawing class or anything like that, so it doesn't have to be accurate the way you draw with the Illustrator, but it's always better to follow the reference point, reference picture. So I have that here. I'm gonna create, oh, maybe not here. Here. Okay, here. It's starting to looking like a cool piece of art now. Alright, so let's take a look. And then I'm going to show this gray area. Oh, that's not all bad. So might need a little bit here and there just to highlight each areas. So I'm gonna get one right here, get one right here, maybe here. I want you, obviously you're going to have to spend more time than I do, but this is just, I'm just doing it really hastily, just in sake of, because this is just a demo. So alright, so this, I've created this my self-portrait using the shape tools, but right now it's kind of a boring because I've used all these arbitrary shapes. Think about how you can create a interesting pattern or interesting motifs utilizing your shapes. So I want your works to be a lot better than these examples, and obviously my example right here. So that is the first project that you're going to be working on, and after that, after you are finished with this, I will upload a new video on the color theory and how you can choose your color. Alright, so let's get to work.